and education to be your next Eagle County Sheriff. I'm not a career politician. I'm not as polished as those speakers that came up here before. What I am is a law enforcement officer. I have management capabilities and skills. Sound law enforcement management principles apply no matter how long you've been in the Valley. My 13 years in law enforcement, 1,500 hours plus of law enforcement training, degree in police science, military service in Desert Storm, provide me with more training, education, and supervisory experience. 10 of my 13 years of experience comes from working in resort communities. You, the delegate, and the citizens of the county deserve a sheriff who leads our county by providing security and safety to the citizens and deputies. I support a conservative and responsible budget. I want to develop a citizens academy where we can educate the citizens on what we do. A reserve deputy program, taking responsible citizens such as yourself, training them and working alongside with them. That way we can reduce costs. I want to develop internship and mentoring program for our youth. I believe as citizens of Eagle County, we have the right to bear arms and be issued concealed carry permits as defined by state law. I do not think it is your neighbor's business whether or not you carry a concealed weapon. That is your right to privacy. I don't think there should be restrictions put on the jail. I think arrestable offenders should be, if an arrestable offense is committed, you should go to jail. I'm talking about the DUIs. Arresting and bringing offenders to jail provides identification for illegals. It's another tough issue we need to face in Eagle County. I want to run a conservative jail. I don't want a recreation center for convicted criminals. You, the delegate, must choose a sheriff candidate that respects your tax dollars and how those tax dollars are spent.
30 seconds, please.
Thank you. Although my opponent was elected as a Republican, he placed his opponent, a Democrat, in charge of the jail, one of the largest portions of the sheriff's office budget. The current administration is about feeling good and what we can do for inmates instead of worrying about crimes made against our Eagle County citizens. You, the Republican delegate, can help our county by voting for me, a conservative Republican, to represent the Republican Party in August. I thank you for your support.
Questions for Mr. Wolfe. Quick questions, quick answers, please.
Question, on the jail, the people in this room paid an awful lot of tax money for the new jail, or the remodeled jail. Do you feel that the taxpayers have gotten the best deal, and if not, what would you change at the jail?
As far as them getting the best deal, no, I don't think they did. As near as I can recall, there was a proposal of an expansion that required $50 million. Everybody said no, they didn't want that. What they did is they went back, they reconfigured, came up with $24 million, but didn't go back to the voters. I don't think that was right. The expansion that they have now is an open concept. They say that the majority of the jails are going to this concept. However, in the paper they printed that 3,500 jails throughout the nation and less than 300 of them, or around 300 of them, were going to this concept. There is more open space in that jail than there is bed space. Part of the reason that they asked for a larger jail was because they needed it. I didn't realize that what they needed was a bigger rec room. So, no, I do not believe that they got what they paid for or what they wanted.
What would you do is what he asked. What would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I'm kind of stuck with what I got, but what I would do is actually arrest the people who commit offenses, bring them in, get them identified, and
And that's not
if they're,
happening now?
pardon me?
That's not happening now?
No, ma'am, not for certain violations.
Well, didn't the commissioners appropriate the funds, not the sheriff?
Yeah.
That wasn't the question. The question was, what would you as the sheriff do differently with the jail that we have
Don't
now?
answer his question. I asked a question. You got to ask one, I get to ask one. Are you running, Pete?
Could you please re-answer, sir?
Wasn't it the commissioners who appropriated the $24 million for the jail, not the sheriff himself?
Wasn't it the sheriff that asked for the bigger jail?
Excuse me, folks, let's make one thing clear. 24 million did not go to the jail. That was for the Justice Center. Be clear on that. If you want to find out where the major part of that money went, it went to the judges and it went to the DA, not to the jail. Sorry, I apologize. I just want to make sure that's
A
clear.
few more questions here. Yes, ma'am.
In our local caucus meeting, the subject of a database being kept for gun owners, local gun owners, and that's beyond the federal requirements that are needed to own
Beyond the state law.
and beyond state law. Well, I'm not. So where do you stand on that, on the local database?
What I brought up and what I believe you're trying to refer to is the concealed carry permit. It's not a requirement of the state to maintain a database, so we shouldn't be doing it. Why are we creating a database for the legal citizens?
I understand that that was changed.
Other questions? Yes, please, quickly.
I have had my hand up.
Yes, ma'am, but you're a guest. Go on. Normally the guests don't ask
I was
questions.
just,
Go on,
just
quickly.
having, as a citizen, inquiring as to your criticism of the jail itself. But have you held, you said you had management capabilities. Have you held any senior management positions managing a jail or supervisory positions with the Sheriff's Department? I understand you've been here for 2 years, is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am. I've been here for 2 years. I've been in law enforcement for 13 years. I have been a shift supervisor. I have not been directly in charge of a jail.
Okay. And you did not want to inquire about the jail itself or
I'm sorry,
express your
sir.
concerns?
What's that?
I said you did not want to express your concerns to the jail prior to making this, these editorials in the paper?
I didn't make the editorials, ma'am. Citizens did. They presented the what their philosophy was on the jail. I'm just reiterating what was printed.
No, I read your letter.
Do we have other questions? Yes, please.
My concern would be one of experience. As I've listened to your background and your experience, this is a very, very important job. I understand nearly 100 people in the organization. Where is the management experience? I mean, I've led some significant changes in organizations. I've worked now. It's an extremely difficult job. Where is the background and experience to do that?
My background and experience, as far as that goes,
So to lead the kind of change.
well, first of all, I think to be a leader, you have to recognize some of the issues. I've done that, and I know there are people out there that are saying, oh, this guy, you know, he may be good, maybe in 4 years. You elected Sheriff Hoy for 8 years. You know his policies, you know what he's done. And I am saying that what I bring is different. As far as leadership, that's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing now. That's why I'm communicating to you for the others that won't step forward and do it. I think there needs to be a change. I think there needs to be a choice in the matter. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm a leader.
This gentleman with the glasses and your hand up here.
We're from the other valley, and you talk about your same valley, but we get a minimum of an hour, 2 hour response time, maybe longer, whenever there's somebody available. What are you guys going to do to try and make our side of that?
I don't think that response time is completely accurate.
I can tell you,
I do.
personal experience, there was a sheriff's car parked outside the building. My wife had an incident in the park, 20 yards